All right, good evening to our professional colleagues, student members, and friends of the Institute. And on this note, I say welcome to another episode of ICAN On Air, your great platform for learning, powered by our noble institute, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. And today, of course, it's another ICAN On Air program. Please inform your colleagues and friends that the show has commenced, and you can be part of the show on ICAN Facebook page, on Instagram handle, and ICAN YouTube channel. Of course, also on the LinkedIn page of the Institute. And today, Thursday, 14th August, 2025, we are looking at another contemporary topic, the role of accountants in combating financial crimes. And I have here with me an erudite scholar, a distinguished and reputable professional, a professor of Forensic Accounting and Auditing from the University of Jos, in person of Professor Yohanna Jugu, FCA. He will be dissecting the topic, the role of accountants in combating financial crimes. So sit back and relax. Of course, let's quickly go and take some commercials. And I'll be coming right back into the studio with my guest on the show today. Don't go away. I'll be right back.
In today's interconnected world, complexity is the new normal. An accountant must navigate this landscape, leveraging interdisciplinary approaches to drive sustainable growth. The Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, USA District, invites you to our 12th ICAN USA International Accountant Conference. Join us for 4 days of inspiring keynotes, interactive sessions, and expert panel sessions. Date is 26th to 31st of August 2025. Theme: Navigating Complexity, Accountants as Catalyst for Interdisciplinary Solutions. Venue is Windham, Indianapolis Airport Hotel, 2544 Executive Drive, Indianapolis, in 46241. Join the conversation. Shape the future.
May I have your attention, please?
Africa's biggest accounting conference is here again. The 55th ICAN Annual Accountants Conference holds October 6 to 10, 2025. Big conversations, bold ideas, powerful connections. Save the date. ICAN is calling. Thinking of fast-tracking your career in finance and business? Here's why the ATRO qualification is your next smart move. It is a recognized qualification respected across West Africa, especially in public service, commerce, and industry. It gives your career a real boost. Once qualified, you earn the professional title AATWA, instantly adding credibility to your name. You also get a head start in the job market, as employers actively seek AATWA holders because of their strong training and dependability. For organizations, it is a smart hire. Many companies prefer ATRO professionals for their cost efficiency and competence. It is a gateway to bigger things. ATRO lays a solid foundation for advancing to chartered status like ICAN and other prestigious qualifications. You can start earning right away. As an ATRO holder, you are equipped to offer personal financial consulting and earn independently. Your qualification travels with you. ATRO is recognized across the region, giving you mobility and access in multiple West African countries. So, why wait? Do not just read about the benefits, experience them. Take the next step forward, becoming an ATRO holder and unlock opportunities across industries, borders, and beyond. Register today at icanportal.org/ATS, because the journey to professional relevance and regional recognition starts now.
All right, you are welcome back, and it's still your show, ICAN On Air. And today we are discussing the topic, the role of accountants in combating financial crimes. Just like I mentioned earlier, of course, we have in-house today our own guest, a member of the Institute, of course, a senior member of our Institute, in person of Professor Yohanna Jugu, FCA. You are welcome, Professor. It's a pleasure having you on the show, sir.
Thank you very much, Tosin Akimomi, for having me. And
Thank you
good
very much.
evening.
It is
Yes,
a
good
pleasure
evening,
to
my
have you.
listeners.
Thank you, sir. Without much ado, let me quickly make known my guest on the show to our audience on the show today. Professor Yohanna Jugu, FCA, was born on the 23rd May 1968 in Jos, Plateau State. He is a professor of Forensic Accounting and Auditing with the Department of Accounting, Faculty of Management Sciences, University of Jos. He is a specialist in financial accounting, forensic accounting, and auditing. Jugu went to Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Oka, where he obtained a PhD in accountancy in 2013, after obtaining his first and second degrees in accounting and finance from the University of Jos in 2001 and 2007, respectively. He is a fellow of ICAN and also a certified forensic accountant of the same institute. He is also a fellow chartered certified forensic accountant of the Chartered Institute of Forensics and Certified Fraud Investigators of Nigeria. Jugu is currently the Dean, Faculty of Management Sciences of the University of Jos. From a position he has held since 2025, of course, February till date, and has taught in many universities, even as a visiting lecturer, which includes University of Jos, Kwarata University, Plateau State University, College of Education in Pakistan, Nigeria, and Khartoum University, of course. He has acquired vast working experiences in the area of accounting in the industry, even before he came into academics and has become a professor. Of course, it is a pleasure once again to welcome you as a guest on our show, ICAN On Air, to have you in the studio today. You're welcome once again, Professor Yohanna G, FCA.
Thank you, Tosin.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, so let's kick off on the topic this way. In the words of Sophocles, an ancient Greek tragedian, he said, and I quote, "I rather fail with honor than succeed by fraud." And you being a professor of forensic accounting, of course, you understand that idiom very well. So I would say, in a simple term, my prof, what is financial crime and what are the elements of financial crime?
Financial crime refers to any illicit act by which the perpetrator illegally acquires the property of the victim. In other words, it is any activity that allows an individual or group to unlawfully gain financial assets. And the elements of this financial crime include deception or misrepresentation, illegal gain or advantage, breach of trust, and use of sophisticated methods or systems, and the concealment. These are the elements of this monster.
The elements of the monster, and I'm sure the monster in that sentence refers to financial crime that we're actually looking at and talking about today. Thank you very much, my professor, for that succinct definition and then talking about the elements of the monster, using your word now. Moving further, as an academic, a guru in particular that you are, I would like you to run our global viewers through the anatomy of financial crime and some of the causes of financial crime.
Yes. When we talk of financial crime, we are talking of the structure, process, and also the typical lifestyle of how a financial crime is planned, executed, and concealed. Understanding its anatomy will help us, or it helps those that are into the crusade of this monster to detect, prevent, and to enforce it. First of all, is the motivation. You know, the offender has a motive or pressure to commit that crime, and also the opportunity where the individual or group of identifies vulnerabilities, and then that is the vulnerabilities in the system, the people, and also the control mechanisms, how to exploit it. Then the method, which is the execution. The crime is committed using specific techniques. Then the concealment, in other words, what we may call a cover-up, the offenders often attempt to hide the crime and it proceeds. You will also think of conversion so that he can convert all the illegal gain, the detection, the response, and the consequences. Of course, the consequences could be to the victim, financial loss, then to the suspect or the perpetrator, legal action against him. That is arrest and prosecution. So the causes, as you mentioned, the causes of financial crime include greed, weak legal and regulatory frameworks, poor or lack of internal controls, technological advancements. You know, presently now we have rapid digitalization, which has outspaced the control mechanisms that most organizations have in place. Then the corporate pressure or culture, where you see unrealistic performance targets or toxic work environments that can push employees to start manipulating results. And then the lack of awareness or training. Then the globalization, of course, is another cause of financial crime. Then we have the economic conditions, the recession, especially what we are experiencing in Nigeria and some other African countries, unemployment, high level of unemployment, and then to worsen it, poverty level. So these are some of the causes of financial crime.
Thank you very much, Prof, for that response, especially dwelling so much on the causes of financial crime, listing factors such as greed, weak internal control, corporate pressure, and then you ended up with poverty. I'll come back to poverty anyway, because we actually need to dwell on that major point and expand it as one of the causes of financial crime. But moving ahead, financial crime is believed to be a global menace involving mafias, and it's cost the global economy trillions of dollars on a yearly basis. From a home vantage position as the managing partner of WJ Jugu and Co. in Jos, how critical is the role of financial accountants in detecting and preventing financial crime?
The role of financial accountants is absolutely critical in both detecting and preventing of this menace. Their access, that is the financial accountants' access to financial data, understanding that they have of the accounting systems and responsibilities for accurate reporting, put them at the front line of defense against fraud and other sharp practices. Why financial accountants are crucial in detecting and preventing financial crime is because they are gatekeepers of financial integrity, where we have accountants are responsible for preparing, analyzing, and reporting financial information. They also ensure compliance with accounting standards, laws, and internal policies, which helps in preventing manipulation or concealment of this monster. And then the two aspects of their roles, that is the financial accountant's role. We have their role in detecting financial crime. They are capable of identifying irregularities, conducting internal audits, monitoring compliance, and supporting investigations. When they do this, they are helping in detecting financial crime. Then the role in preventing financial crime has to do with implementing internal controls, training and awareness, ethical reporting, and supporting corporate governance. So when accountants ignore red flags, are complicit, or fail to act, the following are likely to happen. It means crimes will go undetected, just like we have in the case of Enron in the early 2000s. Then we have financial statements will become tools for deception. Then we have investors' confidence being collapsed. Then lastly, organizations will face legal and reputational damage because the accountants that are there, they have failed in their roles or responsibilities. So this is what I have to say on this particular question.
Thank you very much, Prof. You have just done a very good job in terms of talking about the responsibility of the financial accountant as regards the detection and prevention of financial crimes. Let me follow that up with a straight question that relates to what you have just mentioned. So we have agreed now of the major role of the financial accountant in combating financial crimes, and that is to prevent, to detect, and then prevent. Now, as an academic that you are, and also a chartered accountant in practice, so what is your own assessment of the progress of financial accountants in combating financial crimes in Nigeria in the last 2 decades? Good, fair, or poor? And what are your reasons for whatever assessment you give to us?
Yes, my assessment of this or of the progress of financial accountants in combating financial crimes in Nigeria, especially in the last 2 decades, I strongly think they are within the average. That means they are fair. You see, I have reason for saying that over the past 2 decades, financial accountants in Nigeria have made tangible progress in helping to detect, investigate, and prevent financial crimes, particularly in the banking and public sector institutions. Or institutional advances like the ICAN Forensic Accounting and Auditing faculty, and also the enhanced laws like Proceeds of Crime Act that was enacted in 2022, and then the stronger intelligence system that NFIU, that is the National Financial Intelligence Unit, is doing, then the record breaking of the EFCC performance of recent, they were able to convict or to recover about $500 million in 2024. Then the reinforcement of the meaningful strides that all these have taken. However, a set of systemic limitations like skill shortages, technological gaps, uneven enforcement, and organizational inertia continue to cap the full potential of these efforts. For lasting and widespread anti-financial crime impact, Nigeria must continue to invest in accounting professional training, standardization, legal reform, and of course, institutional empowerment. So, Tosin, that is what I have to say about that. But let me quickly add. You see, yes, the unique skills that financial accountants will require to effectively identify the red flags or money laundering. You see, they play a critical role in identifying red flags and money laundering, and that is what they are doing in Nigeria. And then, because of that role that they are playing, you can see the impact in these particular institutions that I have mentioned, like the banking sector, what EFCC is doing, because EFCC has a number of accountants, and then other sectors of the economy. So we can see is as a result of these particular roles that I have mentioned earlier on, and some that I did not mention, that have been able to bring about these achievements.
Okay, sir. All right, sir. Beautiful. I can see that you have rated us fair in your assessment. I'm sure myself and your good self are also part of the accountant that has just been rated, meaning that there are also, we still have ways to cover in terms of what we could do better in combating financial crimes. In considering today's complex financial environment, are there unique skills or competencies that financial accountants require in order to effectively identify red flags in money laundering, fraud, or illicit financial transactions?
Yes, there are unique skills. The first set of skills is that of forensic accounting skills. We know if accountants can imbibe or try to acquire the skills that are meant for forensic accountants, it will go a long way, because in forensic accounting skills has the ability to trace financial transactions across complex networks. And also they also have the skill of investigative mindset to dig beneath surface level data. Then even the knowledge of fraud schemes, the forensic accounting skill will give accountants, financial accountants, the different schemes that these fraudsters are using. So that will give accountants an edge over those that don't have these skills. We have other set of skills like the knowledge skill of anti-money laundering regulations. We are supposed as accountants to be familiar with this, especially things like know your customer procedures, things like suspicious activity reports, and then regulations from bodies like FinCEN and Financial Action Task Force and other global bodies. Then also the ability to monitor and report unusual or suspicious behavior in accordance with legal requirement is another skill that accountants need to acquire. Also data analytics and pattern recognition. You see, skill in using data analysis tools like Excel, Python, and others will help to detect anomalies or patterns that are inconsistent with the normal financial behavior. So also accountants, they need skills like attention to details, because when we pay attention to details, it will help us in rounding or discovering any false vendor or any false transaction. So such a skill, that is, if we have the skill to pay attention to details, it will enable an accountant to have the ability to spot any discrepancy in documentation or transaction history. Other things like other skills will be ethical judgment and integrity, which is very key in our profession as accountants. And another one is the use of forensic and forensic and money laundering software tools. We are supposed to be proficient, even if not in using all, but at least some of them, like audit command language and others like blockchain analysis, all the analysis tools. We are supposed to also have that. When accountants have these skills, it will help them to prevent and detect fraud easily. And that will be good for any country.
Wow. Great one. If anyone is missing this, the person is actually missing, because here in the studio, our professor is actually doling it out to us regarding the role of accountant in combating financial crime. Thank you so much, Professor, for your response so far. But on this show, without audience, of course, we'll know that there is no show. So let me quickly acknowledge the audience that have quickly joined us at the start of this program. Deborah Adako, Taufik Lawal from Abeokuta, Toyosi Abayomi, you're cited. Simon Edo Gabriel, all the way from Nasarawa State. Toyosi Abayomi from Arepo in Ogun State. Oluwakemi Owolabi from Lagos. Taiwo Jimo, thank you for joining us. Samuel Dami, all the way from Kaduna State. Peter Salami from Adamawa State. Abbas Abdurazak Yusuf, all the way from Maiduguri. Abubakar Musa Abdullahi from Kano State. Bawa Rashidi from Kebbi. Benin Kebbi to be precise. Ismail Sulaiman, all the way from Benin Kebbi also. Ladi Ade Ibileke from Lagos. Kayode Abdul Rahu from Kaduna. Abu Joseph from Asaba in Delta State. Taiwo Moses Ogungbola joining this program from South Africa. Shokumi Babatunde from Ibadan. And a whole lot of people have joined this show, listening with rapt attention to Professor Yohanna Jugu talking about the role of accountants in combating financial crimes. Of course, I'm sure they're actually jotting and learning, and of course, free to send in your questions, and Prof is on seat to actually take those questions and respond to them as expected. Prof, moving forward, still on the topic, the role of accountants in combating financial crimes. So now let's go to a bit of practical. Without breaching any confidentiality, can you please share a practical example with our global viewers where an accountant-led intervention has foiled an impending financial crime or traced and uncovered a financial crime that has already taken place?
Yes, I can recall in 2011, over 1.1 trillion naira was paid in subsidy, just fraudulent payment. That was almost 900% increase from the previous years. And then we have dozens of oil marketers which were implicated in claiming payments for non-existent fuel imports. And also we also have another incident like the Petroleum Product Pricing Regulatory Agency and Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation were found some time ago to have deeply flawed system that enabled fraud. These are some few cases, and the accountants were involved in this detection. All these revelations, accountants were part of it. So this is just some few instances.
Okay, thank you very much for that practical example where we have actually seen a practical case of fraud. Let's take this question now, after which you go on a short commercial break. Some critics feel that financial crime regulatory frameworks are only strong on paper, but very weak during enforcement. What practical steps do you think ICAN and other professional bodies can take in order to bridge the gaps and debunk this notion?
Yes, I think ICAN and other relevant professional bodies, what they need to do is to enhance their advisory role to policymakers, lawmakers, regulators, and even the judiciary. They should also embark on campaign to key stakeholders to see the need to enforce all the available financial crime regulatory frameworks. So that is my advice on this question.
All right, that's a very great advice. And of course, it's still your program, ICAN On Air, and we are discussing the role of accountants in combating financial crimes. And we have in the studio Professor Yohanna Jugu, FCA, Professor of Forensic Accounting and Auditing from University of Jos, dissecting the topic in the studio. And let's quickly go and run some commercials. And of course, we'll be right back after this timeout. Don't go away.
In today's interconnected world, complexity is the new normal. An accountant must navigate this landscape, leveraging interdisciplinary approaches to drive sustainable growth. The Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, USA District, invites you to our 12th ICAN USA International Accountant Conference. Join us for 4 days of inspiring keynotes, interactive sessions, and expert panel sessions. Date is 26th to 31st of August 2025. Theme: Navigating Complexity, Accountants as Catalyst for Interdisciplinary Solutions. Venue is Windham, Indianapolis Airport Hotel, 2544 Executive Drive, Indianapolis, in 46241. Join the conversation. Shape the future.
May I have your attention, please?
Africa's biggest accounting conference is here again. The 55th ICAN Annual Accountants Conference holds October 6th to 10th, 2025. Big conversations, bold ideas, powerful connections. Save the date. ICAN is calling. Thinking of fast-tracking your career in finance and business? Here's why the ATWA qualification is your next smart move. It is a recognized qualification respected across West Africa, especially in public service, commerce, and industry. It gives your career a real boost. Once qualified, you earn the professional title AATWA, instantly adding credibility to your name. You also get a head start in the job market as employers actively seek AATWA holders because of the strong training and dependability. For organizations, it is a smart hire. Many companies prefer ATWA professionals for their cost efficiency and competence. It is a gateway to bigger things. ATWA lays a solid foundation for advancing to chartered status like ICAN and other prestigious qualifications. You can start earning right away. As an ATWA holder, you are equipped to offer personal financial consulting and earn independently. Your qualification travels with you. ATWA is recognized across the region, giving you mobility and access in multiple West African countries. So, why wait? Do not just read about the benefits, experience them. Take the next step forward, becoming an ATWA holder and unlock opportunities across industries, borders, and beyond. Register today at icanportal.org/ATS because the journey to professional relevance and regional recognition starts now.
Yes, you are welcome back to ICAN On Air with Professor Yohanna Jugu, FCA. Of course, we are looking at the topic, the role of accountants in combating financial crimes. You have heard, Save the Dates. It is the largest gathering of chartered accountants in Africa. And that is the forthcoming 55th AAC in Abuja between October 6 and October 10. You must be there. Of course, there are a lot of things that are awaiting you there. And of course, we also want to tell our audience that if you have suggestions on topics that we could take on ICAN On Air, feel free to reach out to us. We'll scroll out some numbers and email addresses on the screen. Please reach out to us on those topics. And of course, they will be looked into and considered. Prof, you're welcome back once again. I can see you are having an easy ride in this your area. You are eating it like any other thing. And of course, I'm sure our members are actually enjoying the show with you. Let's move forward, sir. What is the remedy to the financial accountant working to combat financial crime where there is alleged complicity or coalition of agencies that are supposed to work jointly to combat financial crime?
Yeah, to me, if an accountant who is working assiduously to combat financial crime will now be alleged to have a complicity or collusion, and that is by the other anti-graft agencies. To such an accountant, depending on the gravity of the allegation, he can hire a forensic accountant, first of all, to carry out some analysis and perhaps maybe intervene. But in a worst case scenario, he can go to court. And of course, if he has already hired a forensic accountant who has done some analysis, and that could be used as an evidence in the court. So my advice is, the ultimate is go to court.
Go to court and seek justice.
Yes.
That is what the advice that professor is giving to such accountant. Thank you very much. Our audience, of course, as we run this program, feel free to send in your questions. Professor Yohanna Jugu, FCA, is very much available to take those questions. We're expecting. Professor, still on this topic, in Nigeria, ICPC, of course, the Independent Corrupt Practices, another related offenses commission, and of course, the EFCC, being the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, they are both government agencies set up to fight and combat crimes. What is your unbiased assessment of the performances of these two agencies to date?
Yes, these two anti-graft agencies, ICPC and EFCC, yes, their performance in recent years has been so encouraging. The EFCC in particular has secured convictions of top politicians or political figures, public officials, and corporate executives. Notable cases include some convictions of governors, former ministers, and cyber syndicates. The EFCC claims thousands of convictions annually, like in 2024, they had a lot of convictions, over 95% conviction rate from those that were arrested and investigated. Then also asset recovery. Billions of naira worth of cash, property, and assets have been seized and recovered. We have a collaboration, that is the EFCC has collaboration with some international partners in the US and UK to be able to repatriate looted funds, which included the Abacha loot. We have also, they are doing well in a whistleblower policy implementation. They have done that because that has helped to recover significant sums. The recovery of $43 million in an Ikoyi apartment in 2017 is also another performance that they did. And they also create public awareness on this monster. So they create awareness, and then they make so much prevention effort, especially these two agencies, the ICPC and the EFCC. They have engaged in anti-corruption education, especially among youths and public institutions. There's an integration of anti-corruption modules into some school curricula in collaboration with the Ministry of Education. So, like most universities now have started introducing forensic accounting and fraud investigation programs, especially at graduate level. And even in the undergraduate curricula, we have that as a course in the accounting program, that is the undergraduate accounting program. So, but they also have their weaknesses, but I will not talk about their weaknesses. So, Tosin, over to you.
Okay, Prof. Thank you very much. I think in summary, you have given the two agencies a thumb up regarding their performances till date. That is well noted. Another area I want to look at, of course, could also be the corporate crime. In the words of Anita Roddick, the late British human rights activist and environmental campaigner, said corporate crime kills far more people and costs taxpayers far more money than street crime. So my question to you, Professor, why should corporate crime thrive when nearly all credible corporate bodies have financial accountants like you and I?
Yes, thank you. You see, corporate crimes are thriving even though many corporate bodies have financial accountants. And some of these financial accountants are professionals. Some of them are even our members, ICAN members. And because of some of the accountants who are not professional, some that are professionals do not have the requisite skills for combating this menace. Some that have the skills, you discover that they are lacking in some basic characteristics, such as integrity, So because of that, you will see that even though there's a crusade against this monster, but it is still thriving in most organizations, especially in our case here in Nigeria. You just seeing it, the cases are just increasing every day. So I think there is a need for accountants to acquire some basic skills, as we mentioned above, and then add to it the basic characteristics, especially integrity. I know integrity is part of our ethics, but we need to emphasize that too. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor. We need to emphasize the facts or the need for financial accountants to have requisite trainings, just like you have mentioned, so that they can be well equipped and empowered to combat the monster. Thank you very much once again. In emerging markets, especially in Africa, what are the principal barriers preventing financial accountants from playing active roles in combating financial crimes?
I think the principal barriers that is preventing financial accountants from playing active roles in combating financial crimes, to me, includes lack of resources, such as software, like Python and other forensic forensic tools and anti-money laundering software tools, even audit command language for forensic audit, and then the blockchain analysis tools. They need this. And most of these organizations, except banks, and maybe the banks and the CBN and some other organizations, that you see them affording this for use by the accounting department or unit, or that is a finance unit. Most organizations, they don't have that. And an accountant may not be able to do much when you don't have some of these tools that are tools of analysis that is typically used by forensic accountants, especially outside the shores of this country, to analyze and then analyze and be able to detect patterns, or be able to view patterns and then spot out some red flags out of them.
All right, so lack of resources, lack of required resources could actually be a barrier to financial accountants combating financial crimes. That's a good one, just like Prof has actually mentioned. Then we need these tools to actually go out there and perform the required task. As we coast home, assuming agencies like ICPC and EFCC, like I've mentioned before, invite you to speak briefly to them in a joint retreat on the topic, the role of financial accountants in combating financial crimes, just like we're discussing. Please tell our global viewers some of the points that would be on your presentation slides.
Yes, I think the following will be the points that I will put on my presentation slide. First of all, a brief background of the topic, and then the following roles of financial accountants will be highlighted. The first one, the role of detecting financial irregularities. Then also the role of an accountant in ensuring regulatory compliance, designing and implementing internal controls, and the role of acting as forensic accountants and investigators, and also educating and advising businesses, because they also play a role there. So that will form part of the items to be highlighted in my slide. Then collaborating with authorities and stakeholders. I will also discuss on that. So these are just few of the things that I believe should form part of my slide if I'm presenting on the role of financial accountants in combating financial crimes.
Thank you very much, Prof. That will be a very detailed slide. I would agree with you. Now let's quickly go and take some questions from the audience. From Sanusi Shuaib Kakumi. So thank you very much, Professor Yohanna, for doing justice to the topic. I agree with him. My question is, how can an accountant exonerate themselves from being an accomplice to a financial crime arising from management override of an internal control system?
Yes, as I mentioned earlier on, I said an accountant can exonerate himself if you are being alleged something that is baseless. Sometimes I know such an accountant will be suspended. They will just suspend the accountant. We have started having practicing forensic accountants in Nigeria. You can hire a forensic accountant who will now go to the organization and then analyze the books, those records, and be able to gather evidence from his analysis, and of course discuss it with the prosecutor or the organization. If they don't accept or they don't seem to understand, then there will be evidence that such an accountant can now go to court. And so, to me, because in most cases, from my experience, an accountant will just be accused of something he did not know about. It could be an error, but it will now turn out to turn it to be like a fraud. So you cannot have access because you have been suspended. So you can hire somebody who has the right to ask for those records, review them, and be able to defend you.
All right, Prof. Another question from Shokumi Babatunde is asking, how can ICAN leverage on agencies, anti-graft agencies such as EFCC, ICPC, NFIU, and NPF, of course, Nigerian Police Force, etc., in combating financial crimes in Nigeria?
Yes, I think ICAN can do that through collaboration. They should be able to have joint training or use the EFCC to train professional accountants, and also talk to the EFCC and ICPC to see the need for using accountants, professional accountants, chartered accountants in their own investigation, because time to time EFCC also hire consultants in some few instances. So ICAN should be able to tell them, especially the faculty of Forensic Accounting and Auditing that we have in ICAN. There are many people that have been certified through that means. So collaboration could be, because sometimes people may not know. Sometimes if I now tell people, I am a certified forensic accountant of the Institute of Chartered Accountants, they will be surprised. Do ICAN have that? So I think ICAN can collaborate, let them be. AFCC, ICPC should train chartered accountants, and the same thing, chartered accountants should help the EFCC in some key areas.
Okay. Prof, earlier on when you talked about the performance of ICPC and EFCC, and you said you will not bother going into their weaknesses. Toyosi Abraham is saying that, Prof, we want to learn from their weaknesses. Is it what you will want to actually dwell into, or we should respect your position that you want to be silent about it?
No, I can say something about that. You see, some of the weaknesses of the EFCC and ICPC is the selective prosecution. These two agencies have been accused of targeting political opponents while ignoring allies of the ruling party. You see, this is a very big weakness. Then political interference and leadership instability. You know, the EFCC and the ICPC leadership have faced dismissals and political pressure. You know, changes in government often lead to reshuffling or weakening of anti-graft institutions. Then another weakness that I may say is the weak institutional independence. Many agencies report directly to the executive branch, that is the presidency, and we have also lack of constitutional guarantees for independence. So compromising making them to compromise their effectiveness. So if that could be addressed, I think the EFCC, the IPC, the ICPC, and other anti-graft agencies will be able to do better than what they are doing presently.
Thank you very much, Prof, for that mentioning of those points. In closing, ICAN is always open to ideas that would positively advance the growth of its members, the accountancy profession, and the global business environment at large. As a member of this profession and this institute in particular, what is your general advice to colleagues on their responsibilities, not just as financial stewards, but as guardians of integrity in a global economy?
My advice to colleagues is, one, we should uphold the highest standards of the ethical conduct. Our technical skills may build trust, but our ethical compass, that is, can sustain it. And we should always act with honesty, fairness, and objectivity. Then, secondly, we should be a voice for transparency and accountability. You know, in a global economy facing corruption, regulatory gaps, and financial misconduct, chartered accountants are often in privileged positions to detect and prevent unethical behavior, as we have mentioned. So we need to speak up. And then we need to promote transparency within and beyond the organization we are serving. And then number three is that we should champion responsible financial stewardship. You see, our core role as steward of financial health must include long-term thinking, and we need to ensure that our advice considers sustainability. Whatever advice you are giving, financial advice, ensure that sustainability is part of it. And I will also say that we need to embrace global standards and cultural sensitivity. You see, in a connected world, that we have today, transactions across borders and cultures, we need to stay informed on international standards like the IFRS, the IPSAS. I know many accountants know about that, but we still have few that are not so conversant with that. So we need to do that. And then we need to foster ethical leadership and a culture of integrity. Whether we are in practice, in business, or in public service, our influence should extend to our teams, our clients, and our communities. We need to set the tone from the position we are, whether we are on top or middle class management. Then we need to mentor others so that they can value integrity over convenience. Yes, we need to do that and shape policies and cultures that will discourage misconduct. And just to say more, we need to stay informed and also stay vigilant. You see, fraud, cybercrime, and financial manipulation evolve constantly. So we need to keep our knowledge to be current. Yes, we need to know what is happening. We need to be vigilant and skeptical. Just like, is it George Bush that says, trust but verify? Then the responsibility that we have include protecting not just numbers, but trust in the financial system itself.
All right.
And let me add one. We need to promote financial inclusion and equity. Then as chartered accountants, we are not just custodians of balance sheet. We are the ethical backbone of global commerce. So the choices we make today ripple through the economies, affects lives, and shape trust in institutions. So we need to guard our trust fiercely. That is my advice.
Wow, these are lovely and fundamental advices, I would say, especially when you talk about valuing integrity above and beyond convenience. Professor Yohanna Jugu, FCA, a professor of Forensic Accounting and Auditing in the University of Jos. We want to say a very big thank you to you for coming on the show today and sharing your wealth of experience with our members and the friends of the Institute. It's an excellent responses to the questions and a great delivery, I would say. Thank you so much, Prof, for finding time to be here today and sharing your wealth of experience. We really appreciate you, sir.
Thank you, Tosin, and thank you, my listeners.
Thank you very much. We know one more time we'll come back for you again to also listen to maybe the part 2 of this topic or another contemporary topic again, still in your field. Thank you very much, Prof, and wishing you a very lovely evening.
Thank you very much.
Now, let's quickly take some announcements before we draw the curtain to the program. Announcements. AAC 2025 is not just an event, it is a vibe. Come with your G, share the laughs, make the connections, and create memories that will make you smile years from now. The countdown has started. 53 days to go. The deal of 5% off all August, don't sleep on. Of course, it's happening at Abuja, Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center, Abuja, between October 6 and October 10, 2025. And the theme is building resilience, aligning reforms for Nigeria's development. The largest gathering of chartered accountants in Nigeria. Don't miss it for anything. Go ahead and register today. Also, September 2025 actual examinations. The date is Tuesday, 23rd September and Wednesday, 24th September. Registration will close by September 18. Please go ahead and register before it closes. Of course, the countdown to ICAN milestone celebration has also begun. ICAN is celebrating 60 years of existence. It's 18 days to that celebration. Please don't miss it altogether. We are the members of the Institute and we will celebrate all together. Of course, my professional colleagues and global viewers, you agree with me that today's program is worth the while, very educating, enriching, and very impactful. And that is the show for today. I want to thank you for being part of this great episode today. Till I come your way again with another guest and another topical issue, I indulge you to say stay safe and remain sound. On behalf of the editorial team and the producers of ICAN On Air, I remain Tosin Akinwumi FCA, saying thank you for watching and enjoy your evening.